بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد ولله الأسماء الحسنى فادعوه بها وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لله تعالى 99 اسما من حفظها دخل الجنة. The next name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we're going to cover is, the 30th name is Ya Latif. Ya Latif is a very, very powerful name, and many mashayikh have given encouragement of reading it a number of times. So Ya Latif has multiple meanings. The word lutf from Latif, Ya Latif can mean the compassionate one, the most gentle one, and it can also mean the elaborate and intricate one. And all of these meanings apply to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that His work is latif, is very fine, delicate, sophisticated, elaborate. And it's also the compassion. Lutf is also compassion. So you're getting two things in here, minimum. You're getting two things in here. So Ya Latif. Personal struggles, number one, personal struggles when facing internal struggles, especially in complex situations. Especially when other people can't even it's just so many things going on. They're all intertwined. And you don't need just one person, you need multiple people to get you through this. Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif. To seek Allah's gentle, elaborate, sophisticated understanding and provide His compassion through these things. Number two, when you have to make a professional decision. If an individual is considering a career change, unsure about a job opportunity, and seeks guidance that takes into account the intricacies, is this the right job for me? Only Allah knows. Somebody else might have a basic idea, but only Allah knows, because He knows us internally, and He knows us 10 years later as well. And He knows us 50 years later. Nobody knows us 50 years later, right now. Meaning nobody knows our future except Allah. So there can't be anybody with more lutf than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which means that, is this professional decision I'm making the right decision for not just now, but for later, how it impacts the rest of my life? We might think it's great right now, but only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So especially job opportunities, unsure about job, or seeks guidance that takes into account the intricacies of their life, their professional aspirations. Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif. Allow me to do the right thing. Especially lots of students, they go into university and they just pick what everybody else is doing. So the guys go into accounting and the girls go into psychology. These are like the popular. And if they're more into it, if they're really into it, this is the normal stuff. And if somebody is really like committed, then they want to do a medical degree. If not that, then they at least get into dentistry or pharmacy. Otherwise, they want to do law or something like that. You have to be very careful what you choose, because a lot of these are dead end, and if you stop working in that field, that's it. You've wasted a lot of time. So Ya Latif, Ya Latif, allow me to intricately take on what is to be of benefit. Number three is relationships. Relationships are very complicated, aren't they? Right. Some relationships are easy, but otherwise they're very complicated. So when dealing with a sensitive situation, especially in a relationship, whether it's with a friend, family member, spouse, and one hopes for a gentle, elaborate, well-considered resolution, Ya Latif, Ya Latif, Ya Latif. Health concerns, especially complicated ones, they can't find out what it is. I've had so many tests, I've just heard this so many times now. I've been to the doctors, I've been to others, we just can't figure out. All of that came out clear. Ya Latif, for those undergoing a delicate medical procedure or dealing with a subtle health issue that isn't immediately visible to others, seek gentle healing through Ya Latif and Ya Shafi as well. So Ya Latif. So seeking the gentle healing and understanding of Ya Latif. Mental well-being. When someone is dealing with internal stress from external sources, or from internal sources. Sometimes just self-induced stress. Do you know that? One of the 9 deadly feelings is anxiety. Nothing anybody has done, you just feel like everything's against you, or you think everything's going to happen to you. Allah help us, that kind of paranoia is dangerous. So Ya Latif, Allah has given us for every occasion something, Ya Latif. Anxiety or depression and seeks a gentle touch to their mind and soul, Ya Latif, can offer a lot of solace, inshallah. Learning and education. For a student finding it challenging to grasp complicated aspects. I get all the other stuff. When it comes to these difficult parts, I just can't get it. Maybe I'm not the sharpest pencil in the box. Or let me blame the teacher. She doesn't know how to explain. He doesn't know how to demonstrate this properly. These are various excuses people make. Call on Ya Latif, Ya Latif. There were scholars who used to go into sujood when they couldn't understand a masala and say, Ya Latif, fahimni. O subtle one, let me understand this. Allow me to comprehend this. So, when somebody needs delicate guidance in their studies, invoking the Latif can provide the nuanced understanding required. Number 7, appreciation of nature. Now, it's rather than asking for something, it's more about just invoking the Latif as a praise, to recognize Him. That's the other way of using this. So when admiring the subtleties of nature, just admire fruit, just admire some flowers, admire the animals, just admire the landscape, whatever you want to admire. And Ya Latif. So it's an exclamation of acknowledgement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah will reward you for that. It's ma'rifah. When we take anything and go to Allah with it, when we recognize Allah's hand in anything, that is the dhikr. That is dhikr. Do you know that? That is dhikr. Saying La ilaha illallah, there is no God except Allah, that's a dhikr. And recognizing something is from Allah and say, Ya Latif. That is the dhikr of Allah. That's very nuanced, in fact, because a lot of people don't do that. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار والفلك التي تجري في البحر بما ينفع الناس وما أنزل الله من السماء من ماء فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها. And it continues. This is all from Allah. Allah is telling us to think about these things. So go and enjoy the beauty of landscapes, but just realize it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Latif. It's an appreciation of these finer details of creation. From the gentle breeze to the intricacy of a leaf's design. We were just going through in New Zealand, in Auckland, through this park for a walk. And there were some trees, and I recognized one as a eucalyptus. They have these thin, long leaves. Just broke one off, crushed it up in my hand, gave it to the Maulana with me, and I said, smell this. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. Pure eucalyptus, just from a leaf. What else are you going to think of Allah? So every leaf smells different. Business endeavors, if someone is working on a business deal that requires a keen eye for detail, a lot of people can't deal with detail. They deal with generalities. They miss out a lot of nuance. So if this requires you to make sure that you cross all your T's and dot all of your I's, if you still do that kind of stuff nowadays, you just need a keen eye for detail, you don't miss anything, or you need a specific gentle touch in negotiation. You might call on to Ya Latif for guidance and blessing and thoroughness and that sophistication. And number 9, the spiritual journey, of course. The spiritual journey which we all are supposed to be on, may Allah. For those embarking on a spiritual quest, seeking to understand the more profound and subtle realities of faith. Ya Latif, who better than to invoke Ya Latif to understand the subtleties, the mysteries, the intricacies of this path, calling upon al-Latif. And artistic pursuits, why not? Anybody into graphic design, architecture. So an artist hoping to capture the finer nuances of their art, whether it's painting or singing. Our nasheed singers, they're singers. These nasheed artists, they're singers. So somebody who can sing well, somebody who can recite the Qur'an, a good qari, Ya Latif, Ya Latif. Or writing might invoke al-Latif for inspiration and deeper connection to the subtleties of their craft, especially if you got a mental block and you need some idea. Alhamdulillah, Ya Latif, Ya Latif.
With the Rayyan Courses subscription, you'll gain immediate access to over 250 hours of exclusive video lessons taught by experienced scholars. Sign up now at rayyancourses.com to continue your journey. Your next lesson is waiting.